Hasan Piker, for those who don't know, Hasan is about as far left as it gets. He's the nephew of Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, and this guy has just been out flaunting his wealth. As a he's full-on communist. Just recently visited Cuba. He's clearly foreign funded, and he says ridiculous things all the time. He says abrasive things. He's basically called for violence. This guy has a major voice on the left, and he's actually influential for the far left. He's in some ways it's scary how much this guy has as far as a foothold in the left. But it's starting to crash out for him pretty quickly here. So this subpoena that's come from the Treasury Department has got them really, really scared. But there's something much bigger going on here that we're going to see as we dive into this. This is, my friends, I really believe just the beginning. But let's look at this story real quick. Far left streamer Hasan Piker names Neville Roy Singham as the funding vehicle behind political operations that operate under nonprofit labels. This admission comes as Treasury Department investigates Piker and multiple congressional committees probe whether Singham organizations abuse their tax-exempt status. Now, Neville Singham he's like Mark Elias. He is one of the main instigators of the far left and what the deep state politics here in the United States. He's funding it, NGOs, nonprofits, you name it. This guy is behind so much of the chaos in our politics right now. And so for Hasan to admit this, it's pretty damning. And we also have CodePink under investigation. But see, Hasan and CodePink are just the tip of the iceberg. What they're doing really is investigating him, because if they get Singham, a lot of this is going to unravel. And we've already started to see, ever since Trump first came in, we got USAID out of the way. Doge has investigated all these other places. Bessent came out and talked about investigating domestic terrorist funding, seeing where all the funding goes into Antifa, etc. Singham is behind a lot of this, just like Soros, but he's been more in the shadows than Soros, where Soros is pretty openly flaunting it. It's been known for a long time about Soros. So he's, and he's chilling over in Europe. He's fine. He won't get extradited. But the money is, all this investigation from Doge and what Bessent's doing is starting to lead places. And I have a feeling we're going to start seeing a lot of other influencers get busted up in this as it progresses. Now, here's Hasan talking about this and being kind of open about his connections in a pretty crazy way. Listen to this.
I think that ultimately the target is probably Singham and his operation, from PSL to Answer Coalition to CodePink, like anything that he has ever financed. And it's not new. It's been around for a while. But it's obviously it's held through regardless, because like it's ridiculous, right? It's like totally fucking ridiculous to try and stop like the political advocacy of an American citizen, right? Roy Singham is a American citizen. He lives in China now, and he's a
you hear that? American citizen, but he lives in China now. Is that an admission of where that money's actually coming from?
Centimillionaire. I think he like has almost $1 billion. Not sure how much money he has now, but like he's been a funding vehicle for a lot of like political movements in the country, like a lot of activism, and they hate that shit. Like the American government hates that shit, so they're trying to jam him up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is there, Hasan. They hate it because they just don't like political money from Americans expressing their views. That's what it's really all about, isn't it? Isn't it, Hasan? What a cope. What a cope and a deflection of what's really going on here. No, Singham is much more sinister than that. And this man, I mean, if you look at, say, like Data Republican stuff, her work is incredible. And she traces Singham and connects him to hundreds hundreds of NGOs, influencers, et cetera, et cetera. And this man, I mean, like I said, this is the beginning of him coming down, and Hasan proves it. Hasan proves it. Now, he continues to freak out, and it's about, like, because he went to Cuba and basically broke a bunch of did a bunch of illegal activities under our sanction laws.
Starting with this, federal officials issuing subpoenas to controversial left-wing streamer Hasan Piker and CodePink co-founder Susan Medea Benjamin over their recent trips to Cuba. It's part of an investigation into whether they violated current U.S. sanctions by supporting.
So should we just call CodePink like Thomas Massey's sisters? Is that what we should call them? Because the same people funding CodePink funded Massey? Oh, wait. Is it possible somehow some of Singham's money made it to Massey? Are we going to start finding this out? I don't know. Pretty interesting. We have, let's see, where's it? Anna Paulina Luna here saying today it's time for the White House to reopen the FARA office. That's the foreign influence. FARA violation galore right now. Oh, funny how that's all starting to come at the same time, right? Let's announce it by going after the left-wing guys first, because MAGA and even the center people will be very excited about this. In fact, even Asmongold, the world's largest streamer, did a whole video about how glorious it is to see Hasan sweating over this stuff, because we've all been watching for years. I don't watch Hasan Piker, but I check in on what he's doing, because it's important to see what the left is doing, right? And for years now, it's like he just does the craziest stuff, and nobody has gone after him. Well, we get FARA back, and all of a sudden, investigations open, and it's not just the left guys; it's the FAGA group. Alex, don't look at Alex, please. Don't look at me. Tucker, oh, you think I get Qatari money? Oh. No, I think maybe. This is just the beginning. See, you start at one area that's really easy it's the easy one, and you work your way up, and it gets very interesting very quickly. And these people are going to be panicking soon. Now, somebody dug this up, and I wanted to share this because this is a little exposure of Alex Jones going all the way back to 2001. Here is Bill Cooper. Now, why is this interesting? Because so many times when I call out Alex, I get so many people who are like, well, Alex, he was right about everything until a year ago. He just changed. Really? Or has he been an asset the entire time? I don't know. Let's go through some of this clip from Bill Cooper on Alex Jones in 2001.
Clear up a little discrepancy here. Apparently the other night, or within the last week, because
real quick, I kind of like how the video is this clip is done like a 1950s, like a 1950s newscast story. I don't know. I just think that's kind of funny with the font and the black and white. But anyways, I digress.
Because I've been getting a lot of email about this, and I even received one telephone call. Apparently somebody called the Alex Jones broadcast and asked him why he didn't have me on the air, or asked him something about me. Alex Jones said he had me on the air once before, several years ago, and had to cut me off the air because of the foul language that I used. So on the air tonight, I'm going to tell you, Alex Jones, you are a bold-faced, miserable, stinking little coward liar. Now let me say that again so there's no mistake about it. You can all tell Alex Jones that I said this, and I suspect he's listening because he does. Alex Jones, you are a bold-faced, stinking, rotten little coward liar. I was only on the Alex Jones show one time. It was years ago, when I didn't know who he was, when I didn't realize what a liar and a coward and a sensationalist bullshit artist that he is.
Wait, Alex is a sensationalist? No, I don't believe that at all. Oh, it's a gay frogs. And I'm telling you right now that the globalists are getting all together and, Trump was going to take them out. But now they're plotting World War IV. Or is it 3? Which one is it? I forgot again. Damn it. But anyways, it's coming tomorrow at 9. And be ready.
He was
Never
on one little FM station down in Texas. He wasn't on all the stuff that he's on now. And I agreed to be on his broadcast. That's when I was doing guest appearances on broadcasts years ago. I was not cut off. I did not use any kind of foul language whatsoever. He treated me very well, and I stayed on for the whole show. Some of you in Texas know that that's true because you heard the broadcast and you taped it. Later, when I found out who Alex Jones was and what he was doing...
How hilarious is this graphic? No matter what and who, it's never the Jews. Except it's always the Jews, according to Alex lately. He really shifted on that one, but anyways.
...to the truth, and what a cowardly liar and sensationalist he really is. Every time he called me after that, I have always refused to appear on his broadcast. Absolutely refused to lend him any credibility whatsoever by appearing on his broadcast. And that made him very angry. I've also revealed him for the lying sensationalist bullshit artist that he is by every once in a while bringing to your attention the lies and the deceit and the rumors that he spreads over the airwaves that are not good for any of us, and they're not good for the nation. They are especially not good for militia and patriots. The most disgusting broadcast he ever did was on New Year's Eve.
Here we go. This is where it gets interesting.
The year 2000. The New Year's Eve, 1999, bringing in the year 2000, which he went completely out of his mind and claimed that Russia had launched intercontinental ballistic missiles with multiple warheads at the United States of America and actually panicked millions of people who were putting their children and their belongings in their cars and heading for the hills.
People already panicked.
There's lots of things that can be said about me. Nobody needs to lie about me.
By Y2K, by the way.
Sometimes I am irritating. Sometimes I absolutely will not suffer fools and am just as rude as I can be. Nobody has to lie about me, Alex Jones. So I suggest that the next time somebody calls your broadcast and asks them about me, you tell the truth. There's lots of truth that you can tell about me. But don't ever lie on me, buddy, because I'll chop you off at your ankles. I will chew you up. I will spit you out for the lying, stinking, rotten little coward that you are.
He really hates him.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I have to say about Mr. Sensationalist, lying, rumor...
Okay, so that's what I wanted you guys to hear was the whole part about the Russian missiles, and that is absolutely true. So Alex, he's been spreading fear for decades now, and you look at Alex, and people are like, yeah, he did tell some truth, and it's like, okay, yeah, I agree with you. There are things that he did that are very interesting or said. But looking back, it's like, hey, is it possible that maybe Alex was just relaying to us the stuff he was allowed to so he could build trust? Because what he kept doing, and I've noticed this with Alex for years, even before I fully saw Alex who he was. I was always upset and wary of his dooming because it was always so sensational. And, I used to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I just chalked it up to, marketing to get people to listen. Okay. But I got to say, the more you see now where Alex has just fully unveiled who he really is at this point, and it's and whatever you believe, whether he's always been that way or if recently somebody got to him, whatever it is, fine. You can all have your own interpretation of these events. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. What I am saying, though, is what I'm seeing from now where we're at looking back is Alex, in my opinion, has always been an asset, a globalist deep state asset to discourage. He gives us little insights into things that ultimately we can't do anything about, to build trust. And then he gets some verification. It's like, oh, Alex Jones knew, which that's how you build up trust so that when you actually need him to sway the people a certain direction or extremely discourage the people, you've built up some trust. So they actually trust you when it's time to deploy the asset. What's so amazing in my mind, what we're seeing is as all these assets were deployed in the last couple of years, especially with the Iran war, once that started, it became clearer than ever. What was so amazing about it is how few people followed the influencers that they've been with. People have 25-year relationships with Alex Jones listening to him, and yet they stuck with Trump over him. It tells you that PSYOPs only works so well when you actually don't get anything done. If all you're ever doing is talking and somebody else is actually doing, the people will follow the doing. People will follow the truth more. And the way the devil lies to us is he packages his lies in truth. He takes stuff out of context. And that's how he preys upon weaker minds. See, we always can see how the devil uses deception in Matthew 4. When Jesus goes out to the wilderness, what does the devil do? He quotes scripture to Jesus. Well, what's scripture? Scripture is truth, right? Scripture is God ordained. And Jesus hears the scripture the devil's quoting him, and he quotes it back at him in context. See, the devil takes truth out of context. And that's what Alex Jones has been doing for decades. He gives you little bits of truth without the right context. And it's led to fearing. I mean, I remember the Russian missile thing that he did that night and I wasn't listening to him. I remember from listening a few years later and going back and hearing parts of that broadcast. But that timing, it was at one of the most fear-filled nights in American history, because the year 2000, we'd been building up Y2K. They even came out with a movie that year with Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1999 called End of Days, which was about New Year's Eve, Y2K coming, New Year's Eve, the devil coming back. And all these people were terrified that we were going to wake up on January 1st, 2000, and all the computers would have been broken down and we were going to live in Mad Max world. So you had all that. And on top of that, that night, Alex Jones on his broadcast tells us Russians have just launched a bunch of hypersonic missiles at us. You cannot tell me that was not a discouragement campaign. Building us up, getting a bunch of fear in us, and then you get that fear in people, you get us always on the edge. And what does that open up? It opens up the ability to create a larger security state, maybe pass a Patriot Act with the people okay with it because the people are so afraid now. And then Alex Jones can go back and say, oh, Patriot Act, which, I'm not a fan of the Patriot Act. I understand what it is. But then Alex can play on our side for a while. But it's always fear all the time. And this is what I tell you guys. One of the main ways to see through PSYOPs is it's always black-pilled. They offer a ton of information. They offer a whole lot of fear. And then the only solutions they offer are impossible solutions that'll never happen. And so it leaves you feeling discouraged and like there's no hope and the world's going to end and we can never beat these people. That's what Alex Jones does. It's what Tucker Carlson's doing now. It's what Whitney Webb has always done. It's how you notice a PSYOP. And it's just funny to me seeing Bill Cooper call this out so long ago. And it just goes to show you guys there's so little that that we actually are told truthfully. There's so few of these people we can trust and of course they're smart enough to know that not everybody's going to listen to CNN, ABC, NBC. There are going to be those truth seekers who go deeper, who go onto the dark web or, go into, radio programs late at night on independent channels. They're going to go look for that stuff because they want the real truth. And so, of course, they're going to plant people in those areas. It's just like yesterday when I was playing that clip where he said Thomas Massey was like, well, the young people, they're smart and they get their news from podcasts. Well, of course, because the Podcastistan, the grifters are sending out that deep state news. Of course, Thomas Massey wants you to go there. So all this to say, guys, we're starting to figure this out more and more is being exposed like this right here. There's a new feature on X, and this is what I love. There's a huge psyop going on right now to attack X. Okay, there's a huge narrative right now that X is done, it's dead, it sucks now, don't go there. And the criticisms are legitimate, like the bots and the trolls. People get tired of that. Absolutely, I completely agree with you. However, it's also the only place where you can still easily get real news dispersed. You just have to know where to find it and how to look for it. It really is muddled. And to X's credit, they've been doing a great bot purge stuff, and they're doing stuff like this so you can figure things out. Look at this. There's a new feature on X not a lot of people know about, but you need to know. It used to be a mystery how random accounts with a few hundred followers that spread Dugan-style divide and demoralize slop meant to weaken the West were plucked from obscurity by the algorithm and broadcast to millions of people in the Western nations. Now we know. Reposts are ordered by the size of the account, not just by most recent as before. And as you can see, the accounts that made the pro-Massey messaging go viral are mostly third worldist, global south accounts, some with the flag of Pakistan, others based in Asia and Turkey. If X wanted to, they could stop this overnight. Well, X has its, they have some bad eggs there still working. But the point is we can see it. This explains why Massey lost and why people like him will continue to lose across the West. They aren't actually popular. They think they are. They're getting their shoes inflated by bots and foreign spammers. People pushing them don't even care that they win. The chaos is their goal. Now, I disagree with that. I actually think they do care. But the point is this. It's getting easier and easier to spot all this activity. People are getting wise to it. They're getting wise to it. Just like we're getting wise to Alex, just like Hasan Piker, just like all these people, it's starting to be exposed. And so if we get all this happening, okay, the people are waking up to it all. And then Anna Paulina Luna is telling us what they're thinking on the Hill. The MAGA Congress people are thinking, get Farrah going again. And all of a sudden, friends, we get our new McCarthy era, which, let's be honest, we need right now. Everybody thinks, we were told, we were lied to in school that Joseph McCarthy was an evil man and he created an age of chaos in our country. No, he was an imperfect man. Some would believe he was an alcoholic. However, what McCarthy did single-handedly protected us from communist full infiltration for decades. He set them back decades because the commies had full on been infiltrating our entertainment, our media, and our government at that time until McCarthy outed them and pushed back. And that's what we need to build up for here. Get the Farrah office back open, get it running strong. And I do believe that Doge and Bessent, what they've been doing is a build up to this, so that the foreign influence can be taken out again of our media, and all these people that need to be outed and need to be exposed will be. And that is going to lead to some really good things in the future.